Top 10 inventions we don't need but can't live without. If you've ever stayed up too late and got sucked into those late night sham wow commercials, then you probably know a thing or two about wanting something you don't need. What do we need? We all know we need food, water, shelter in order to survive, but there are things we use on the regs that feel like a necessity, but perhaps not. Hey everyone, it's me again, Raechel Fisher, and today we are going to be reviewing our top 10 list of inventions we don't need, but we can't live without. Starting off at number 10, we have Nespresso tea capsules. I love coffee, and sometimes I joke about wanting an IV drip in my veins, but I gotta be honest, some mornings. I think we can all agree that making the perfect cup of joe or espresso takes a particular kind of skill, and coffee varies from place to place. But one of the home appliances that have taken aspiring baristas by storm are the coffee pod dispenser machines like Nespresso, for example. Those who use them swear by them, and I gotta say, I don't hate them either. But considering a lot of coffee shops were closed during the pandemic, it definitely makes enjoying your favorite kind of latte a lot safer. And big brand coffee companies decided to try and loop in those tea people with their nice coffee pods. So they made another thing we don't need: tea pods. There's one way to make tea, unless you're making a tea latte, in which case you add some milk to it. But the thing is, we already had the most efficient version of a teapot since the turn of the 20th century, which allows you to make tea, even on the go. So, need I say more? Coming up at number 9, we have keychain things. Want to know something that's crazy? We can actually track the use of decorative keychains all the way back to 1700 BC in Egypt. The Celts also used to carry rabbit feet for good luck, and also to communicate with their dead loved ones in the spirit world. And in the World Wars, the soldiers used to carry charms for luck. But by the latter half of the 1900s, keychains became a popular souvenir item for tourists everywhere. But guys, let's be serious here. Do you need your keychain to be so crowded you can't even find your keys? No. Do you need that bauble of the Eiffel Tower to remind you that you traveled thousands of miles and went to France? I mean, unless you keep forgetting you traveled there in the first place. I guess they are useful because it helps to remind you where your keys are when you shangle your bag to find them, but let's be real. Is it a life or death situation? No. Coming in at number 8, throw pillows. You know someone's got their life in check when their bed is not only made, but is ornately decorated with throw pillows. You know? That's right. Coming in at number 8, we have throw pillows. Small decorative pillows that aid the ambiance of the bed or couch or wherever else you want to put them. I personally have a few throw pillows on my bed, and no, I don't need that many. But yet I do. Why? Because when I fall back onto my tower of pillows, I dream sweetest dreams. And I feel like a damn princess. Speaking of princesses, did you know that throw pillows were actually a sign of luxury, and not everyone used to have them? The earliest known use of throw pillows was actually in 7000 BC in Mesopotamia, as many people were likely uncomfortable in their living circumstances back then. A sign of wealth meant comfort, and whoever's furnishings looked the most comfortable meant you were the most wealthy, which makes sense. So whoever had the most pillows, I guess, was the most wealthy. Though we don't have any cushions that survive from this period, we can track their usage through the art they left behind on the walls. So again, we don't really need them, but for some reason, humans found a reason to make them happen for centuries and thousands of years. But it makes sleeping a lot cozier. Coming in at number 7, we have e-readers. This next one is mostly targeted at all of the world's most voracious readers. From as early as the late 1990s, e-readers have started to enter the realm of technology's must-haves. E-readers are a product designed as a way to take your library with you wherever you go. Which, if I'm being honest, as a reader, that's all I want. But many book nerds resist them at first, but as soon as they start, they just can't stop. But do we really need them? Look, if you're an avid reader like me, you may have resisted the e-reader trend because, well, there's just nothing like the smell or a feeling of a new book in your arms, and it's the most beautiful thing in the entire world. But now, e-readers are trying to make themselves as close to the feel of real books as possible. Which begs the question, then why not just own or borrow a real book in the first place? Plus, what if you're almost at the end and right as the character is finally going to be doing the thing that you've wanted them to do the entire book, it dies. Or rather, the device dies because you forgot to charge it. No, it doesn't lose its charge. A real book. Regardless, e-readers have become so popular that some people even think that they might replace real hardcover paper books altogether. Which begs the question, are printed books really the thing we don't need anymore? Coming in at number 6, we have cell phones. Okay, I know. Does anyone remember when our parents would tell us to be at a certain place at a certain time and we would, just be there? Yeah, I do too. If you wanted to go to a friend's house after school or, I don't know, go to the park, you would just tell your parents or use a landline, ask them nicely, and just that's where you'd be unless something crazy happened. But today, it's hard to even imagine what would happen if we didn't have a cell phone on our person at all times. If you make plans with someone and can't text them to find out their ETA or text them that you will be late, well, will the hangout even really happen? Plus, now they aren't just QWERTY little phones that barely connect to the internet. Our cell phones are basically mini little computers we carry with us wherever we go, and we're definitely addicted. I definitely can't say cell phones are useless. I debated even putting them on this list, but in a way, I needed to. There's many reasons we can't live without them now because we've all adjusted so well to having them every single day. But there was a large portion of our lives where we didn't need them one little bit, and it makes me wonder, do we really need them as much as we use them? Coming in at number 5, we have tablet iPads. Next up, we have another large screen device that is basically a larger version of a phone and a smaller version of a laptop, so why do we even have them? Tablets and iPads are another one of those things that people have gotten so addicted to, but do they really need to be? Steve Jobs once asked the question before launching the iPad, is there room for something in between? Apparently the world said a resounding yes, for in the first 80 days of the product launch, 3 million iPads were sold. They became the new must-have items, and Apple has continued to insist their necessity by coming out with iPad-exclusive apps like Procreate, used for all the incredible TikTok art we keep seeing every time we turn on the app. The apps themselves become so addictive, which makes the iPad even more appealing to the tech-addicted individual. They're also more portable than a laptop, and they have a bigger screen, so anyone who's used to scrolling on their phone for docs or whatever, this satisfies those people. I can definitely see the appeal of the tablet or the iPad, but with phones getting bigger and laptops getting lighter, soon it will be hard to justify having one at all. Okay, this one's fun. Coming in at number 4, we have smart water bottles. This next one kind of makes me roll my eyes so far back in my head, I can finally see backwards. Coming in at number 4, we have smart water bottles. And I don't mean water bottles that have a PhD in astrophysics. I mean water bottles that are designed to tell you when to drink water. Because our natural human thirst isn't enough. Forgetting to drink water is like forgetting to breathe, and having to be reminded every few seconds is kind of hilarious. We need to drink water. That is a necessity. We will literally die without it. So why do we need smart water bottles? Well, folks, as always, it's all about innovation and good marketing in relationship to technology and fitness. Fitness industries are constantly looking for new ways to engage the health-conscious individuals so that they can buy the thing they've been missing. The easiest way to do that is to take something everyone has at the gym and slap some tech on it. Smart water bottles connect to your Bluetooth device and record how much water you drink and how much you still need to drink for the rest of the day. They even buzz and light up to remind you. How fun. These hot new gym items have swept the fitness world by storm, but the question still remains, do we really need this? Hold on, wait, where's my water? A second. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. Do we? Coming in at number 3, we have social media. I know. At the risk of sounding like a 1940s grandpa who's like, I went to school uphill both ways, by saying we don't need social media, here we are. Look, I definitely see the irony pointing this out as a YouTube host and an actor who has social media and uses it all the time, but I feel like I have to mention social media at some point on this list. From Pinterest to Facebook to Twitter to TikTok to Instagram to YouTube, gosh, there are so many. Social media is everywhere, and it takes on many forms. Especially with the global lockdown, social media has played a crucial role in maintaining connections with friends and loved ones. Apps like TikTok have become creative outlets for people to strut their stuff and share their art, which I'm definitely on board with that. But can we live without it, and should we? In recent years, studies have surfaced to discuss the effects social media has on our mental health, especially in youth. For one, it's incredibly addictive. According to a study made by the American Journal of Preventative Medicine, the more time spent on social media can induce greater feelings of social isolation, which is something we don't need right now, and obviously it has negative effects on our mental health. A social comparison that appears online can also affect our mood and increase depressive symptoms by creating a jealousy feedback loop. So, though social media has its upsides, there are also points to argue why we should put our apps away for the better part of our day so we can live without it. Coming in at number 2, we have smart speakers. Two varying kinds of this invention are now in homes across the globe. And if you guessed smart speakers, you may be right. You want to play a little music in your home? Hey Google, can you play a little music? You want to know what the weather is outside? Hey Alexa, what's the weather like outside? You want to know how many years is 1 trillion seconds? Ask away. There's also plenty you can do, including setting car alarms, setting thermostat timers, and light switches, to name a few. Some might say it's the closest thing to having Jarvis in your home, which is pretty cool, I gotta admit, unless you're afraid of like all the creepy tech movies where the house tries to kill you. In 2018, 52 million Google Home devices were sold in the US, and they continue to sweep the market. But what's funny is that despite all their usages, 68% of the time they are only used to check quick facts. I know. Talk about wasted potential. By now, we all know people love to scoop up the latest in technology, but in this case, if you have a laptop, a phone, and a tablet already, this device may be a little redundant considering all that it's used for. And coming in at number 1, we have bottled water. We already mentioned one kind of reusable bottle up above earlier. That already makes this item redundant, but still we just can't let go. Humans have been drinking beverages out of various kinds of bottles for a long while now, from steel to glass, aluminum cans, but in 1973, Nathaniel Wyeth patented PET, polyethylene terephthalate, which was a new kind of plastic flexible enough to withstand carbonated beverages. It was safe, cheap, and recyclable. At the same time this miracle material was found, Perrier and Evian sparked the bottled water biz after crossing the Atlantic for the first time. By 2016, bottled water sales had surpassed soft drink sales in the US. It's marketed as a safer, cleaner, and healthier way to drink water, though they don't actually have to meet the same rigorous regulations for testing as, for example, Health Canada uses, because they are internally regulated. Despite the majority of tap water in the US and Canada being very safe to drink, the US spends approximately, get ready, $100 billion a year on bottled water. Now, it's completely understandable to find bottled water essential in areas of Canada, the US, and the world where water isn't safe or clean to drink, and it's definitely a better option. So I guess that's where it's needed, but $100 billion in just the US? What's even worse is that a study has shown bottling water is responsible for 2.5 million tons of CO2 in the atmosphere. So next time you're thirsty, reach for a glass or reusable bottle. Yes, even a smart one, because we don't need plastic bottles. And that is our top 10 list of inventions we don't need but can't live without. As always, let us know in the comments, did we miss anything? And if you like this video, let us know by pressing that little thumb button down below. It's cute and we like it and we love you. So, as always, I'm your host, Raechel Fisher, and I will see you next time. Take care. This next one is mostly targeted at, oh my gosh, already. Oh no. E-readers are a product designed as a way to take your library with you wherever you go, which doesn't sound like that bad of an idea. If I'm being honest, that doesn't sound like. Apps like TikTok have become creative outlets for people. Oh my gosh.